know the improvements made, and that was where we are today. He's not fighting anybody.
Something. Then some of them might also be in denial. Say, oh, there's nothing wrong with my child. Oh, he can play so well. Oh, he answers me. I say, okay, madam, call your child. And we calling 10th time, the child is not even answering to the 10th call, ignoring everybody, aloof, not even aware of the environment. So we have seen a lot. We've seen those that will come with severe behavioral issues. In fact, they once we start clinic, sometimes the clinic is supposed to be 30 minutes clinic, but they can give me 45-minute clinic because a child might throw tantrums for 45 minutes. Everybody will be exhausted, and they say just leave her children be exhausted. But at the end of everything, we'll be very happy. Maybe the child will become compliant and agree to sit. And you see the parents wondering how are they coping? Like crying, jumping, will not even sit in one place. How are these parents coping? So you know that this child definitely do need intervention services, because if this child can behave like this, then what happens in school? And of course, sometimes the parents will say, oh, this is for the schools. Who said, oh, the school said that, oh, there's no problem, we can cope. It would be nice for schools to tell parents the truth. I'm talking to schools now. Please tell the parents the truth of how their child has been behaving in school, the behavior, the speech, the interaction.
This is Against All Odds.
Caring for a child with autism syndrome disorder can be very demanding, requiring a lot of energy and time. There may be days when you feel overwhelmed, stressed, or discouraged.
Very, very tasky. But I still thank God because, like some children, as you have seen, you have to toilet them, you have to clean them up, you have to brush them. My son is not like that. He has his own challenges. Like when he goes to the bathroom to have a shower, you have to stand and be begging him to come out. That's how funny it is. But it's not easy because you'll be there for the next 30, 40 minutes begging him to come out. That is the challenge.
What I would say is I would advise parents don't keep these children. Yes, it might not be easy because I feel it's about the society. A lot of parents feel ashamed. I must say that. A lot of parents feel ashamed, like they feel stigmatized, or when they see that my child is not behaving or acting in a certain manner, like when my child walks into a room and he's behaving in a way that you would not expect other children to be, the parents feel ashamed. But I would say that for this sake of these children, please, parents, try as much as possible to get help, because early detection is better. It helps them. By the time they start early, some of them after some time they grow out of it.
Yes. Yeah, we have autism myths. Number one, they think that children with autism, they don't love people. They don't want to be loved. That's not true. They want to be, and if you show them affection, they know those are genuinely like them. So when you're passing, they will grab you. They understand those things. Because our children appear indifferent and aloof, so you think that they don't care what happens in the environment. They do. Then they also think that autism is as a result of a spiritual um, influence, the witches and the wizards. No, 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 no. In fact, some people have told me, doctor, don't you think this child needs exorcism? So we need to pray and fast. I said it's okay to pray and fast, just like you're doing for every other thing, but this child needs therapy and it's autism.
Parenting is not ever easy, and raising a child with special needs is even more challenging. For you to be the best parent you can be, it is important that you take care of yourself.
It might be a bit emotional. Every time they come, yeah, we always have this burst of emotions and this not pity, but you just feel emotional. So that's how I feel right now. But before that, everything has been going well. We do our best. Of course, you know about Kanye already. So what we experience with him is also what all parents who have special needs children go through. There's really no difference. You are saddled with a child who you probably have to look after for the rest of the child's life. So, unless there's a miracle, and we also do believe in miracles as well, but unless there's a miracle, that is what you're saddled with. And it's a daily routine of trying to discover new ways to um, either pacify the child or to spur the child to do something, because of course, it's a neurological disorder. So they are thinking properly. They know what they are seeing around them, but how to communicate their inner feelings is the problem. And you know how it is if you're a man now and you can't talk, but you want to say something to somebody, but you can't talk. You'll be agitated. But that's how they are.
You were not hidden when you were born. Maybe you didn't have autism, but God has given you this child and it's for a purpose. It might not be easy, but why don't you start from somewhere? Don't let anybody's comments, or you feel that you're being discriminated against, don't let anything like that deter what you do for your child. Show love and do whatever you can as a parent. Anything you can afford, go to the extent you can afford. The ones you can do at home, there's always something you can do at home. In fact, you can do 20% of some work at home to help your child. Okay, so don't hide away your child. Please say no to discrimination. We need inclusion in the house, at school, in the church, and the mosque society as a whole.
Autism syndrome disorder is not gender-based, it's non-racial, and it cuts across all social-economic groups all over the world. Therefore, we will keep educating the society and advocating for equal opportunity to participate in every aspect of life to the best of their abilities and desires.
NTA, you can't beat the rich.
What do these things have in common? Yes, you guessed it. They are either extinct or close to extinction. And that is what our coins have become, Kobo and Naira coins. And soon, paper Naira may follow. Our coin denominations now range from the 50 Kobo coin to 1,000 Naira note, with the 1,000 Naira being the newest of notes and launched on the 12th of October 2005. The 500 Naira note was launched in 2001 on the 4th of April. 200 Naira note was introduced on the 1st of November 2000, while on the 1st of December 1999, the 100 Naira note made its debut. Before the emergence of the 100 Naira note, the highest denomination was the 50 Naira, which came into being in 1991. On New Year's Day in 1973, the 50 Kobo, 1 Naira, 5 Naira, 10 Naira, and 20 Naira notes made a grand entry into circulation. In 1984, the notes were color-coded, an attempt to stop money laundering at that time. In 1991, the 50 Kobo and 1 Naira were changed to coins. In 2006, the CBN, in a bid to revive the coins, rebranded the 50 Kobo, 1 Naira, and even introduced the 2 Naira coin. As an experiment in 2007, the Apex Bank commissioned the printing of the 20 Naira note in polymer material. The success and reception of this note prompted the reprinting of the 5, 10, 20 and 50 naira notes from paper to polymer notes 19 months later. These waterproof notes were introduced as they were said to withstand the wear and tear of daily usage. The attempt to reintegrate coins began well, but failed. And now, the only time we remember we have kobo are on either our financial transactions or when the country's budget is announced. On the 22nd of March 2022, the House of Representatives urged the central bank to reinforce the use of coins in the country. Honorable Muda Umar of Toro Federal Constituency, Bauchi, who moved the motion, said that he wanted the use of coins as a legal tender and ensure that banks comply with the use of coins to the fullest. But in a country where there is an unwritten or unspoken agreement between buyer and seller that any commodity 4 naira and below is to be rounded up to 5 naira, and when that is not available, the change may be rounded up to the nearest 100, depending on the commodity sold or generosity of the buyer, the goal of the motion may not be achieved. In roadside shops, supermarkets, and most especially filling stations, little kobo or naira change is left for the seller, either because of the inconveniences that may occur when looking for change or the discomfort of carrying coins in our pockets, wallets, or handbags. To avoid these troubles, the petty cash is forfeited, and just like the saying, little drops of water make a mighty ocean. The cash left over a long time turned into tens, thousands, and even millions of naira for the seller. Inflation has also caused coins and lower denominations to become insignificant. Where things cost 2 naira 50 kobo, they now cost 5 naira or 10 naira. Where pure water cost 1 naira 50 kobo, it has gradually risen to 3 sachets for 50 naira.
President Buhari formally congratulates Governor Fayemi on his election as President of Forum of the Regions of Africa.
Senate leadership acknowledges improvement in fight against insecurity.
Believe that you, armed forces, and other security agencies have everything in terms of the morale and the determination.
Federal government received Human Rights Action Plan.
It's a government that has a history, a tradition of respect for human rights, both in terms of having legislative framework, supporting it with institutional framework, and further reinforcing it.
Good morning, Nigeria. Today, we shall discuss wrangling in political parties.
Now, with just about 2 weeks to the commencement of political campaigns for 2023 general elections, some political parties are still grappling with wranglings arising from the primaries.
No question about that, Kirian. In fact, some of the political parties, however, making frantic efforts to resolve the misunderstanding with some of the aspirants who are aggrieved over the outcome of the primaries. Now, yet others are dissatisfied with the selection of running mates or indeed the leadership of the Presidential Campaign Council, or they may even be harboring other grudges.
Exactly.
Yes.
Just a few days ago, Kingsley, a political party suspended its presidential candidate for alleged anti-party activity to that level.
Well, I thought it was a bit curious. So you suspended the presidential candidate, meaning he has no basis for contesting the election. No, I think that's
for many Nigerians, the party has no basis for standing for election. If at this point in time, the party cannot settle with issues arising from having
internal squabbles.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, you have nominated him already, and just few weeks to the commencement of campaign, you are now saying he's no longer.
That he's been suspended. When you say he's suspended, it means that his membership of the political party is in abeyance.
Exactly.
And if the membership of the political party is in abeyance, on what basis then would it be standing for elections? Of course, we've had a number of stories around political party members who are, of course, disengaging from their political parties, and as the saying goes, they're defecting to others. And this, of course, due to lingering disagreements, either on position sharing or failure to reach a compromise on some issues of interest.
Although leaders of some political parties have been engaged in trying to resolve the squabbles in their various parties, but such efforts are yet to achieve the desired result.
No question about that. And reacting to the developments, which are unsavory, the Secretary to the Government of Niger State, Mr. Matane, observed that intra-party squabbles are threats to democracy and the stability of the political parties. I would rather say that they are first a threat to the political parties rather than to democracy itself, because it is the actions of the political parties ultimately that would form a threat, as it were,
exactly.
to political parties.
And are the actors, right? And when they don't get it right, of course, democracy is threatened. So what is the best way to resolve such wranglings in the political parties in Nigeria ahead of the flag-off of the presidential campaigns? What is the implications of these squabbles on the electioneering success of the parties? What has it got to show about the management of the political parties? These are some of the talking points as we discuss wranglings in Nigeria's political parties. I am Kyrian Umayo. Thank you for finding time to join us.
And I'm Kingsley Osadolo. I joined my colleague Kyrian to also welcome you to the program live on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. Now, in another segment of the program, we shall also discuss the philosophy of St. Matthew's Royal Academy.
All right, and in line with our tradition, of course, you should expect to have the complimentary segments in the course of our show today. Now, here is the morning news with Frama Pani. Good to see you, Frama.
Good to see you too, Kieran. Good morning, Kieran and Kingsley. Good morning, Nigerians. Here is the morning news. The United States Special Presidential Envoy on Climate, John Kerry, has described as fulfilling and reassuring genuine efforts by President Muhammadu Buhari to bequeath a lasting legacy of transparent and accountable electoral process in the country for posterity. Mr. Kerry, who was former Secretary of State under the Obama administration, stated this at a dinner held in his honor by the Nigerian leader.
Is here to discuss with President Muhammadu Buhari the climate crisis and the role expected of the Biden administration in support of Nigeria's developmental aspirations. Describing capital as critical, Mr. Kerry said the U.S. is...
President Muhammadu Buhari has formally congratulated the chairman of the Nigeria Governors Forum and Governor of Ekiti State, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, on his election as president of the Forum of Regions of Africa, FORAF. This was when he granted audience to the governor, accompanied by his counterparts from Kano and Nasarawa states. The president also granted audience to Governor Aminu Bello Masari of Katsina State.
The emergence of Nigerian Governors Forum as the inaugural presidency is not just a victory for our country, it's a testimony to how well regarded and respected you are amongst other countries in Africa. And the idea behind the establishment of the forum, sir, is really for subnationals to become the engines of growth. and the agents of innovation.
I'm pleased that you have experienced the support the leadership of the country enjoys from other regions, of Africa. Our potentialities really cannot be sidelined by any group or any individual state in Africa and the world over. And for you, Governor of Ekiti State, congratulations, for doing justice to Nigeria.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo will represent Nigeria in Kenya for the East African nation's inauguration of William Ruto as its 5th president. Vice President Osinbajo departs Abuja late Monday evening and will join other leaders across Africa and beyond for the swearing-in ceremony scheduled to hold in Nairobi, with about 20 heads of state expected to grace the ceremony. Nigeria and Kenya share very warm and long-standing diplomatic relations underpinned by strong economic cooperation and cultural affinities. In a release by Laolu Akonde, Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity in the Office of the Vice President, indicated that the Vice President is accompanied on the trip by the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Zubairu Dada, and the Special Advisor to the President on Political Matters, Senator Babafemi Ojudu. He will return to Abuja after the event later in the day. Leadership of the Senate says it has observed remarkable improvement in the fight against insecurity in Nigeria by the armed forces and other security agencies in the last 4 months. President of the Senate, Ahmad Lawan, stated this during a follow-up meeting involving principal officers of the Senate, security chiefs and other security agencies. He observed that the armed forces and other security agencies have exhibited a renewed vigor in arresting the security situation, and that should be sustained.
When Mr. President spoke of ensuring that we return to normalcy by December 2022, I'm sure he had in mind what we have been doing recently. I believe that you, our armed forces and other security agencies have everything in terms of the morale and the determination, even though we still have to give those who have made every effort to steal our oil at an industrial scale. I'm sure some of them may not be that likely to escape.
Overcrowding will be a thing of the past in Nigeria's custodial centers before the Buhari administration leaves office. Minister of Interior Rauf Aregbesola gave the indication while touring the 3,000-capacity ultra-modern custodial center in Karshi, outskirts of Abuja.
I'm satisfied with the pace of work and the quality of work. For what you have seen here, we are about 55% completion when you add all the services to it. My desire is to have the first 3 of the 6 completed before this administration ends in May of next year. And I'm working at it. I'm going to approach the president for support.
Federal government has reassured Nigerians of its commitment to continue to promote and protect human rights-related issues in the country. Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, SAN, gave the assurance when he received the Human Rights Action Plan from board members of the National Human Rights Commission.
That will be presented before you today include the following: asking that the federal government will make the requisite declaration pursuant to Article 34 of the Protocol to the African Charter of Human and People's Rights, and doing this will grant direct access to the African Courts on Human Rights by individuals and non-governmental organizations. This singular move will widen the scope of access to protection of human rights in the continent of Africa.
Is a government